What's up, team? This is Ro, your best friend at JMSB. So here I was asked a question for COMM 308, Introduction to Corporate Finance. Let's have a look. You plan on purchasing a $30,000 car tax-in by making a $10,000 down payment and financing the balance through a 4-year bank loan at a rate of 12% compounded monthly. What will your loan balance be immediately after the 20th monthly payment? So Diego Velasquez asked this question in Ask Ro, and he would like to know specifically how to solve this 308 question with the help of a fabulous financial calculator. So we're going to begin by pressing second followed by FV, and what that essentially does is that it clears the gray TVM variables that go across our calculators. We're now going to press second followed by IY, and it's going to show us PY on the screen. We're going to set PY to 12 by pressing 12 followed by enter. The reason we're setting PY to 12 is simply because in this example, we're making monthly payments, so there are 12 payments that are happening each year. We're now going to hit the down arrow. It's going to show us CY. For CY, we're also going to set that to 12 by pressing 12 enter, and that's because this interest rate on the loan happens to be compounded monthly. We exit this worksheet by pressing second followed by compute. Notice how on top of compute it does say quit, and so this is how we exit worksheets. We're now going to press 20,000 followed by PV, and that's simply because in this case we're buying a car tax-in with a price tag of 30,000, but we're making a down payment of 10,000. And so what that means is that we're only borrowing 20,000. So 20,000 should be our PV, the present value of our loan. We can press 12 followed by IY, and that's because this loan carries an interest rate of 12%. Notice how interest rates are entered as percentages rather than as decimals in the finance calculator. For N, we're going to press 4 times 12, and that's simply because we're making monthly payments over 4 years, and so there's going to be 48 payments made in total. We can set the future value to 0 by pressing 0 followed by FV, and now we're going to press compute followed by payment to first calculate the payment that we're going to be making towards this loan. Once we've calculated the payment towards this loan, we're now going to use the amortization worksheet in order to determine the balance of our loan immediately after making the 20th payment. And so in order to do that, we'd simply press second followed by PV. Notice how on top of PV it does say amort, and so this is how we enter the amortization worksheet. At this point, we're going to be asked for P1 and P2. Think of P1 and P2 as different markers along the life of your loan. P1 is essentially where you want to start capturing payments, and P2 is where you want to stop capturing payments. So since we're trying to figure out the balance after the 20th payment, we can set P1 and P2 both to 20. So for P1, I'm simply going to press 20 followed by enter. If I hit the down arrow, it asks me for P2. I'm going to press 20 followed by enter. At this point, if I hit the down arrow one more time, notice how it's going to show me the balance of my loan immediately after making the 20th monthly payment. So I'm getting an answer of 12,806.9. If you round that to the closest dollar, I guess, it will be 12,807. So I believe the correct answer here is going to be C. Notice that if you continue to hit the down arrow on your finance calculator, it will also show you the principal component of that payment. And if I press the down arrow one more time, it shows me the interest component of that payment. And so using P1 and P2, we can either capture individual payments or many payments during the life of our loan in order to be able to either figure out the balance of the loan after making the payment or determining the interest and principal component of each of those payments individually or together. So I hope this explanation helps, and if it does, be sure to tag your friends that are taking the class. In the meantime, keep well guys, study well, Ro out.